I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. Abraham Lincoln. My friends, look at the charts today. Whoa, a slam down almost across the board. We see the S&P 500 jacking down 1.13%. The Nasdaq even more, 1.78%. Bonds continuing their slide down 1.13%. And look at Bitcoin, 5.75%. Again, we had those 3 days of strong up movement, increasing up movement in Bitcoin, but you see all this volume. When you have that high a volume, many times it can mean for you a capitulation. And again, we saw it didn't reach as high as the day before. And then what happened with it? It rolled over strong, heading down on Tuesday. Down in the morning, further down in the afternoon, 5.75%. The only thing going up, gold, a little over 0.5%. And we see where gold has moved up and then down and then popped back up again. But let's jump down into it just a little bit for you, a little bit more. We'll start with the S&P. We can see for 2 days the S&P really jamming up. Didn't have a lot of volume there on that half-day chart, but we had volume again with the afternoon yesterday, up just about average volume on Monday, and then the red spinning top in the morning, and then the real hammer down in the afternoon with average volume both times. As we saw again reverting to the mean, we have seen now things, revert back over, heading down, and we can see again following that trend line, going back below it on the half-day chart. This is the weekly trend line. We always track the weekly chart. Why? Because that's the chart we trade off of. And of course, we see on the 2-day chart, we have a green spinning top for Monday, Tuesday. We can see that our candle is below it. The wick did pop above the weekly trend line on the 2-day chart, average volume, but stayed below it. So we still have that downward pressure. And look at the NASDAQ 100. We've been unable to draw any kind of trend line here because it's just been so herky-jerky. We, had it reached the interim high with all that volume again, that kind of high volume with all that indecision, tells you it's hard to do a lot with that. And then what happened? Well, you notice that it's a red volume. Now, that doesn't mean negative volume. It means that the candle starting the week of the 16th of December opened lower than the prior close. Okay, that just gives you some more information. Doesn't mean this is negative volume. What happened was we shot up to a higher high with all that volume, and then the bears just sort of won. The bulls capitulated. We got a doji the next week, then a down week, and then this week we're back to a doji 2 days in, down 1.78%. So again, we still have that pall of bearishness, of that downward push on price. So we will keep an eye on things. You can see for the last day and a half, like the S&P, we've had decent volume going down. What's up with 20-year U.S. government bonds? Man, they had slid sideways. We talked about digesting those losses. And then starting on Friday afternoon, then Monday morning afternoon, then really just accelerating down on Tuesday, down 1.13%. So again, bonds continuing to crash down. Gold, as we said, popping up. See where it popped up in the morning and bled some of that energy off in the afternoon. Again, still just sort of tracking sideways. And again, we'll watch gold and see what is it going to do. You still have this downward pressure from that interim high and the crossover, and then it's just sort of been languishing, sliding sideways. So we do see a little green here. It appears, well, I tell you what, let's just not say appears. Let's blow it up. Yes, little green there, pushing through that weekly trend line. Not much of a trend line, but something again popping up. So we'll keep our eye on gold, see if it's getting its act together or not. Can't tell yet. What about Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin hit that high of highs back on the week beginning 16th of December. Then down the two following weeks, those short 4-day weeks that we had with Christmas and New Year's. This week started off trying to move up on Thursday the 2nd, up Friday the 3rd, up Monday the 6th, and then hammering down on Tuesday. Still has that downward pressure on it, but it did pop through the weekly trend line on the weekly chart and the 2-day chart, still above on the half day. We'll see how the rest of this week goes. Always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. If you don't have our book and you want a copy of 3-Wave Trading Advantage, man, we've got it for you. Got you a beautiful e-version. All you have to do is become a Patreon supporter. In addition to that, you also get the 3-part series options made simple the Charting Wealth way. We'd love to have you on board helping underwrite the cost of the channel. God bless my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.